Dearest gentle listener, welcome to part 3, The Fish That Outgrew a Lake. Come, let me tell you a story. Because poor Manu had just made what he believed was his final upgrade. The fish had already graduated from a handful of river water to a clay pot, from a clay pot to a pond, and from a pond to a magnificent lake. And I think we can all agree that by this point, any reasonable king would have expected the matter to be settled. After all, there are only so many times one can relocate the same fish before beginning to suspect that perhaps the fish is the problem and not the accommodation. For a while, everything seemed perfectly normal. The fish swam happily through the crystal clear waters of the lake. Birds flew overhead. The breeze rustled through the trees. And Manu even allowed himself the rare luxury of believing that at long last life would return to its peaceful routine. Which I should warn you is one of the most dangerous thoughts anyone can have inside mythology. Because the moment someone says, finally, everything is normal again, the universe usually smiles and replies, oh, you sweet innocent fool. The very next morning, Manu returned to the lake. He stopped walking. He blinked again. He rubbed his eyes. Then, because none of that helped, he simply stood there with both hands on its hips, staring at a fish that had somehow become so enormous that it occupied almost the entire lake. Its enormous tail lazily swished from one shore of the river to the other. Every time it turned around, waves crashed into the banks. A flock of birds, apparently under the impression that they had discovered a brand new island, had landed quite comfortably upon its back, and one particularly confident turtle had made itself at home. The fish looked at Manu with an expression that was almost apologetic. Good morning. Manu let out the sort of sigh that can only come from a man whose life has become progressively stranger every single day. You've done it again. I have. He paused and looked at the lake. You've outgrown a lake? I know. I didn't even know that was possible. Neither did I. I don't believe that. That's fair. Now, I don't know what amused Vishnu more, the fact that he was quietly testing one of the greatest kings who had ever lived, or the fact that Manu, despite everything, had not once lost his temper. Think about it. Every single morning, this fish had arrived with exactly the same problem. My king, I've grown again. At this point, most people would have started charging rent. But not Manu. He simply shook his head, smiled despite himself, and asked, so, yes? Where would you like to live now? The fish hesitated. The ocean? Manu stared. The ocean? If it isn't too much trouble. Now there's an extraordinary sentence. Imagine asking someone to escort you from a lake to an ocean and politely adding, if it's not too much trouble. That's rather like asking your neighbor if he wouldn't mind helping you move a mountain over the weekend. Nevertheless, the journey began. Word spread astonishingly quickly. It usually does when someone is transporting a fish larger than a palace. People abandoned their work, children ran alongside the procession, old women peeked from their windows, merchants left their stalls unattended, and one young boy tugged at his father's sleeve and whispered, Father, has the fish always been that big? No. Will it stop growing? I sincerely hope so. A man standing nearby overheard that conversation. It probably belongs to the king. His friend looked at the gigantic creature. I certainly hope it does, because if it doesn't, we have a considerably bigger problem. By the time they reached the sea, half the kingdom had followed them. The fish slipped gracefully into the endless waters. At last, there was room. Miles and miles of open ocean stretched in every direction, and Manu smiled with obvious relief. There, he folded his arms proudly. Surely even you cannot outgrow the sea. The fish looked unusually thoughtful. I wouldn't make promises. Now that sentence should have worried everyone. Unfortunately, nobody appreciated just how worried they ought to be. Days passed, then weeks. And Manu returned to the shore. The sea was restless. The waves rose strangely. Fishermen refused to sail. Even the birds avoided the water. And then suddenly, the ocean erupted. A colossal golden foam rose from the depths with such force that the sea itself seemed to split apart. Water crashed into the sky, ships rocked violently, and people stumbled backwards in terror. The fish had outgrown the ocean. For the first time since this extraordinary adventure had begun, Manu finally understood. This was no miracle of nature, no ordinary creature, no mysterious beast. No living thing simply grew beyond the limits of the sea. He slowly stepped forward, folded his hands, and asked the question he should perhaps have asked several ponds ago. My lord, the fish smiled. Yes, Manu. Who are you? The enormous fish looked upon the king with eyes filled not with pride but kindness. You cared for me when I appeared small. You protected me when I appeared weak. You never once asked what reward awaited you. He paused. And that, he said softly, is exactly why I chose you. The ocean fell silent. Even the waves seemed to wait. Then the great fish began to shine, not like sunlight upon water, brighter, warmer. The entire horizon glowed with golden radiance as the divine form revealed itself. I am Vishnu. Manu immediately fell to his knees. Now, if you're wondering whether he was shocked, yes, he was. Very, very shocked. Because it's one thing to discover that you've been helping a mysterious fish. It's quite another to realize you've spent the last several weeks apologizing to the supreme preserver of the universe for the size of his accommodation. I imagine Manu's mind instantly replayed every conversation they'd ever had. The pond is too small. I'm terribly sorry. Let's try the lake. If embarrassment could become a physical object, poor Manu would have happily hidden behind it. Vishnu, however, simply laughed. Not mockingly, warmly. The kind of laugh that tells you he had enjoyed every moment of the journey. Then his expression became serious. Manu. Yes, my lord. A great flood is coming. The smile vanished from Manu's face. The time has come to prepare. The fish had revealed its true identity. But what Vishnu said next would sound so utterly impossible that if anyone else had said it, Manu would almost certainly have laughed. I need you to build the greatest boat the world has ever seen.